Yo, what up, what up, what up, and welcome everybody. Welcome back to Pinoid News. I know it's been a minute. I had a week-long strike I had to serve out, and then after that, I'll be honest with you, man. I've been busy working, grinding, handling my business. I have my kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm busy with life. Life is, you know what I mean, keeping me most definitely motherfucking running like a goddamn crazy person. I'll just be honest with you there. Man, look, I'm be real. I'm fucking just, yo, today has been like a shit motherfucking day. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna put the motherfucking link in the Discord if anybody wants to come in and join. You know how this operates, right? I don't want to have to stand here and give everybody, you know what I'm saying, extra motherfucking shit and whatever. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, right? Anyway, so man, listen. I don't know if y'all caught the fucking title of the joint is Laundry Day. It's a very dangerous day, right? So I ended up having to go up north to drop my kids off this morning, right? You know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's how the hell we do what it is that we do when we do it. You know, that's kind of what the situation is. I run up north, and I'll be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to snow this morning. They said it's going to be like a heavy fucking snow, whiteout condition, that type of shit. So I'm expecting it. I go up through the valley and whatever, you know what I mean, which is like his back road, you know what I mean, nobody really knows about unless you from here, you know what I'm saying? You ain't from here, don't pass through, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Fucking so I head up through and, you know what I mean, nothing's plowed, which is cool. You know, I mean, I get up there, do what I got to do. And I start heading I drop my kids off and I head down to Walmart. I got to go fucking return this TV I bought and, you know what I mean, fucking swap it out. Because like I dropped it, you know, I got a TV, I swear to God, like I get it to the crib. I put the feet on it and I try to it's too big for the end table or whatever. So I try to do it diagonally and it falls over and it hits a fucking corner of a different TV I had sitting there. Right. And bust the whole top of this bitch. Like fuck, it's like now it's all like black and shit on the top. Like fuck, whatever. I'll use it for the weekend. So used it for the weekend, took it back, swapped it out, got a new one. And I'm heading my way back down through. Man, listen. I don't know what it is about these fucking store-bought rednecks. Right, legitimately, that makes them like fucking think that they can just do whatever the fuck it is they want to do. But I'll be honest, I'm fucking tired of it. Like legit, on my way back through, I had a fucking Jeep, and I'll be real. Every time I fucking stand here and I've had a fucking Jeep, I had somebody like pull in like when I was fishing, and they had like $800 worth of fucking fishing gear. Like it was some asshole in a fucking Wrangler with giant monster tires on it and shit. And I'm just standing here and I'm kind of like, yo, why is it that you're alive? Like as a whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, why is it that you think that you should be down here fishing with the rest of us? Like my kids can outfish these dudes and they do most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I have my 6-year-old out and he'll just get it done. You know what I mean? Like at that point, you know what I mean? I have a 6-year-old, they'll come out and he'll just, you know what I mean, get it done or whatever. Right. I know I can mount the new TVs to the wall, but it's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to put it so like it was aimed towards the bed so the kids could watch it when they went to sleep. You know, so they had some movies or whatever to fucking fall asleep with. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't for me, it was for the kids. It wasn't my TV, you know what I mean? Because I give a fuck less about mounting it. Anyway, right? So, like, yo, I had a fucking Jeep Wrangler legitimately on the other side of the road. This motherfucker went off the fucking road and legit almost wiped out the fucking front of me. Right? I start heading down the road and motherfucking there's this Honda, right? Yo. This dude in this Honda got his 4-ways on driving down through the fucking snow and he's doing like 30 mile an hour in a 55, right? Which is whatever. I got it. It's a 2-lane road. You know what I mean? You kind of skittish. And as I'm following him, this motherfucker, every time he goes downhill, he slows down. But the bitch is when you go downhill, there's an uphill on the other side, right? And you ain't carrying no speed. So he ends up motherfucking like sliding his goddamn tires trying to pull up. Well, we get down to the end and there's like 3 motherfucking Hondas and shit, right? All in a row. All of them front wheel drive, piece of shit ass vehicles, whatever. Man, listen, like, yo, all 3 of them are stuck on the hill. It's me and there's a dude. I'm in a Chevy fucking Tahoe. There's a dude behind me in a fucking Silverado. The both of it just kind of fucking just pull right around. Monster V8, fucking all-wheel drive, whatever. Fucking like, yo, I've got the proper vehicle for this fucking shit. Like, legit, I don't understand why the fuck it is you go outside in the goddamn snow if you don't have the proper equipment. Like, real shit, you don't go mountain climbing without carabiners and shit. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you don't go out in a construction site without a hammer. Like, yo, why is it that you would think you can go out in the fucking snow in whatever vehicle you decided to do it in? Like, legit, and not know how to drive? Like I've been driving since I was 14. Like I didn't even have a license when I started driving. Like we was out taking trips and you know what I mean, doing whatever. I bought a fucking I bought like a fucking it was like an 80 Chevy Caprice off this fucking crackhead and shit. Right. We used to ride that motherfucker just 14 years old, barely seeing over the steering wheel, whatever. You know what I mean? Out here getting it done. And like, yo, these motherfuckers today, they got modern vehicles with modern technology and they can't make it up a hill. Like, yo, why are y'all alive? And I'm passing by the dude, and I just want to look to see what it look like. I'm hoping like he got like a man bun or some shit, and I can make fun of him, but I can't. You know what I mean? It's a dude with a camouflage motherfucking jacket on and shit. You know what I mean? Camo hat. You know what I mean? The real tree camo and shit. Like, yo, these motherfuckers think they're goddamn. They think they actual rednecks. They just bought the goddamn shit. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you can't buy a hood pass, and you can't like stand here and buy a redneck pass. It can't. You don't work that way. You know what I mean? Just because like you want to go, oh man, I'm a redneck or I'm a hillbilly. You're not. Like, yo, because hillbillies know how to drive. Like, yo, real shit. If you're from the woods, you know how to fucking drive. It is what it is. Yo, man, look, yo, here's the thing. Yo, it ain't even the first snow. This is like the 12th snow of the year, right? Like, yo, it's been snowing for 2 months straight. Like, yo, it's just been deep, heavy, crazy snow every fucking day. Like every goddamn day, it's just been fucking snow, right? And like these motherfuckers, like, yo, legit, they're retarded. You go down, I went down 322. There's legitimately a van on the side of the motherfucking road and shit. Like, and he's in the median, just hanging the fuck out. Or as a plow goes by, just hits him with every ounce of fucking shit that was on the road. And I'm standing here and I'm like, yo, why? Why is it that you would go to work knowing that you're driving a vehicle that doesn't have the ability to drive, right? Like, yo, man, listen, I didn't even have no snow tires on that bitch, Jim. Like, yo, real shit. No snow tires. I have vehicles where you go downhill and you have to stop. All you do is you bang it off the fucking curb. Like, yo, you just push it into the fucking curbs. Boom, boom, boom. Trying to get that motherfucker to stop. This sugar sand, man, listen. Like, yo, real talk. Like, man, yo, it's fucking goddamn terrible. Right? Like, it's fucking, yo, if you ain't ever been in the snow, man, like, yo, it's fucking awful and shit. I understand, like, all y'all fucking people down south ain't never heard of what snow is. They were talking about it on the radio today because, like, I listen to the radio when I got my kids in the car because, like, you know, fucking you can't be sitting there, put your headphones in and ignore them, right? They was talking about down in Middle Tennessee. They was like, oh, man, it snowed. You can tell who the Northerners were, right here, because they had their fucking walk shoveled. Like, they had their cars all cleaned off and shit. And, like, the fucking local folk, they don't know what the hell to do. They lost. They don't know how to drive. Like, man, listen. I swear to God. You know, in other countries, in order to get your license, you got to drive in all 4 seasons, right? Like, yo, you got to drive in the snow. You got to drive in the rain. You got to drive when it's sunny outside. You know what I'm saying? You got to drive in the leaves. Show that you know what the fuck it is you're doing before they give you a license to fucking put your ass behind a 3,000-pound fucking missile. Like, yo, real shit. It's fucking, yo, it's bananas to me that, like, they just let you fucking people just wander around, right? But, man, look, right? So I was standing here when I was heading down. It was sketchy as fuck. So I was in my Discord. I was talking on the general with fucking the one dude, Togan, and he told me about this fucking news story, right? Which I was like, get the fuck out of here. This can't be goddamn true, right? And I legitimately, I couldn't motherfucking believe the ridiculous nonsense that I fucking heard coming out of this motherfucking guy's mouth. Like, it was completely bananas. Like, it's just, it's patently ridiculous. Like, on some real shit. Yo, Jim, I feel you, right? I feel where you are, right? Like, that's kind of where I was at. Hang on a minute, fuck. Let me pull this up for you in the motherfucking John. Fucking, yo, y'all got to check this shit out, right? This is fucking insane. Check this bullshit the fuck out. Hold up, man. Fuck, it's gonna load all this shit and get rid of this fucking nonsense. Right. As soon as it loads up this dumb, hang on. We'll wait. I'll wait, motherfucker. I'll wait. Real shit. Let me wait until this comes up. Dingleberry, what up, man? Yo, look. I had to go up to the coal regions today to go drop my kids off. Like, yo, it's fucking bananas. Oh, it was fucking just fucking goddamn crazy. Yo, so check this shit out. Fucking House Democrats, right? This is just Like, yo, this is, oh, wait a minute. Because this might be bullshit. I'm not sure. Right. Because my man was telling me about this. And if my man was just fucking full and like, yo, it is what it is. Like, yo, some motherfuckers are fucking stupid. Right. Fucking hang on a minute. Wait. Okay. So check this shit out. Discussing disinterring Confederate soldiers buried in Arlington National Cemetery. We're shocked to learn that cemetery is on General Cemetery and removing all the soldiers buried there. You know what I'm saying? This is real or it's not. I have no idea. Right. But like, if it's true, right? If it's true, like real shit, I'm in awe of how fucking dumb. Right, yo, Gumbo. Most of us pass our fucking driving test without going on a highway, right? Yo, real shit like this test. They take you up Sycamore, across. No, they you down Cameron, up Paxton, across 13th, down Sycamore, back to motherfucking PennDOT. Right. Yo, that's what they do. Legit, that's what they do in PA too. It's fucking dumb. Yo, but can y'all believe this nonsense? Like, yo, this shit here. Real talk. Like, I don't think, like, yo, wait. Oh, actually, yo, man, yeah, this is my actual Twitter joint, right? Fucking, I don't know shit about this. To be honest with you. Yo. Oh, man, I got tagged with some shit. Goddamn fucking, man, I got a bunch of followers now and shit. Like, yo. Anyway, I forgot I even had this motherfucker. I know when I look it up on my phone, like, it won't let me go to my new fucking dip. Anyway, right? Oh, they were like, yo, I have no idea. Real shit. I have no fucking clue. Like, at all. It's just patently fucking ridiculous. I found that story and I thought y'all would like it. Right? Because it's just, because they were talking about like cremating all of them and like handing them, putting them somewhere in a box or in a fucking warehouse or something. I don't fucking know. Right? But like, yo, if that's true, those people are committing treason, right? By being state senators. You know what I'm saying? And maybe, just maybe, we should put them up against the wall. Like, it is what it is. Like, trying for treason, put them up against the wall, put one in their head. Yo, bullets are cheap. I'm just saying. Like, it is, like, it's just some basic shit. Like, yo, these woke piece of shit fucking leftists. Like, real talk. Yo, people, we have to stop talking to the dummies in our societies. Like, we need to stop doing that. Like, we can't just keep talking to dumb people. Like, things need to be explained properly. I understand that the collective IQ of this country is continuing to drop because people continue to get fucking dumber and dumber, which is why, like, I'm trying to, like, help y'all come up a little bit. Like, it is what it is. Like, yo, guillotines are I feel you, right? But like, yo, it's a pain in the ass getting the dude to bend over and then shoving his head in a hole. And then, you know what I mean? You got to pull a rope. Like, yo, bullets, you just fucking cock it back and, you know what I mean? Hit him in the fucking head. It's a really simple thing. You know what I mean? And like, bullets are super cheap. We already had the guns. We don't got to build guillotines. You got to do nothing with their fucking heads. You just take the body and throw it in a hole and we're good to go. That's kind of where I'm at. You know, I think we need to bring back firing squads. Like, yo, it is what it is. All Jim Mac, I agree with you. Like, yo, man, listen, it's just fucking crazy. Yo, hold up, TK Mouse here. Let's see what's up with this nigga. Yo, TK, what up, man?
Not much. I'm just about to get done with my lunch, and I saw you were fucking talking about them exhuming like Confederates.
Yeah.
That's
what they're talking about.
That's not all that surprising. I mean, that's just the next step after they topple all those statues, I
guess. Yo, these fucking Democrats have lost their goddamn minds.
I mean, they're Democrats. What do you expect?
And I feel you, right? Like, that's what I was telling this dude. Like, yo, if you still think human beings are smart, like, fucking, I feel for you. Like, real shit. Like, yo, I feel for you. Because human beings are dumber than a bag of hammers. Like, they are some of the dumbest goddamn creatures. Like, people will shock you with their stupidness.
Yeah, they will. I mean, it's just smacks of bad juju to me, as weird as that sounds, because like I grew up out, you know, in the middle of nowhere where, you know, if we came across an Indian cemetery, which there are a couple Indian graveyards around here, nobody messed with that. Nobody messed with that because you don't mess with the dead. But, you know, these Democrat types, they're all progressive atheists, so they got no conception of that, I don't think.
Well, it ain't even just that. Like, yo, these people, like, here's the thing: is what they're trying to do is they're talking to the dummies, right? And the dummies really do believe that, you know, every Confederate soldier was out here fighting for fucking slavery, right? And they're probably not like absolutely wrong about that on a certain level, but on the same level, we can't keep just bringing up slavery as like the main reason why black people should continue to vote for fucking Democrats. Like we can't fucking do this shit over and over and over again.
Oh, they will. They're good. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I feel you, but like we have to get out. We have to get these people out of this fucking mentality somehow. I don't know how to fucking do it.
Well, I think at this point they're just like they've become an institutionalized race at this point, and like this is not knocking black people in general because like Nigerians wouldn't have any of this shit, right? But
well, hang on a minute. No, wait. Hang on a second, because that's not true, right? Like let's not pretend that Africans aren't the same fucking way. Like look what's going on in South Africa right now, right? Where where like legitimately they have leaders who are over here fucking trying to like fucking get them to go kill white people and take their fucking farms, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, for past aggressions or whatever.
Right. And to be honest, that's like it's a racial thing, but it's how do I put this? Like it happens every time that there's a wealth or a power difference between different ethnic groups. It doesn't have to be like blacks and whites and whatever. Like if you go back in time, you'll find like in Europe it happens between like the Romanians and the Hungarians. There we go.
Okay. Yeah.
Like it happens everywhere, and it happens along ethnic lines all the time. It's just super obvious in America and Africa because what happens is when you have these massive differences between ethnicities, all the tangentially related ethnicities just get compressed down into one for the, you know, larger scale conflict there.
I mean, it's gotten to the point where like in the past 4 or 5 years in Africa, they've had something like 4,000 fucking white farmers have been murdered, and then like tens of thousands of them have been like either maimed or raped, right? And it's getting to that fucking level where, you know, it's a fucking genocide, and nobody wants to address it or have that conversation about it, but it needs to be having a conversation about. And we need to understand it. Like, yo, look, we don't want a genocide in America, like as a whole. Like nobody wants to eliminate black people, right? Like no, that's not like what anyone wants to do as a whole, right? But on the same level, nobody wants to continue to deal with this bullshit,
right? And let's be real here. Nobody even wants to call what's happening to white people anywhere genocide because, well, it's like the whole reverse racism thing where you were talking about, where, like, part of the problem is that, like, CRT, critical race theory, which is, you know, it's not a new thing, but it is a new paint of coat, coat of paint. There we go. And it does allow for prejudice against one-way prejudice, basically, because they define race not as biological, but as like consequence. And so that ends up having some real problems because you get people like Merriam-Webster just capitulating to some of these basically communist BS things. And before we even know what's going on, a lot of the time, they've redefined the language so that, we're wrong by definition for wanting to exist.
Yeah. Like, yo, there's all right, here's the problem that I see as a whole, right? And this is why, like, I advocate for like releasing bears in suburban neighborhoods to catch the dumb kids, right? Is
Right?
because if you never really struggled to fucking like own to have a life, then you're never really gonna appreciate it. Is
Right.
kind of the deal. Like if you never had to feed yourself, if you never had to like fucking work hard, if you never had to like, actually like go downstairs at 3 o'clock in the morning to fucking refill the coal hopper and shit in your fucking house, like you don't know what it is to really fucking survive because you've been like fucking pampered your entire life as a whole. Like you didn't actually fucking kill your own food. Like you've always eaten. These guys, not you, but like these people have always eaten out of a grocery store. And, their parents gave them fucking everything. And they feel guilty about the fact that they watch these other people struggle. And, they go, oh man, we should do something about it. And it's my fault because like, fucking my people are, fucking holding them down or suppressing them or whatever the case is. And so they're trying to make capitulations for, how bad they feel about what's going on. And the answer isn't, allowing them to capitulate to people, but the answer is making these fucking people struggle to survive is the problem. They need that fucking struggle. Like, and Machiavelli wrote about this in the Discourses on Levy, and Levy wrote about this about the fucking Romans and shit. And he said the reason why, Rome was so fucking ended up becoming so powerful, and the same with Greece, and the same with every power as a whole, is because it actually has natural things that make you fucking work to survive, right? Like if you have fucking food growing out of the trees around you, you're not going to become a fucking, a top level fucking race. But if you have to fucking stand here and work and plant and, like fucking till the soil and, irrigate and do all these things, it makes life more difficult. So you end up having to have, some type of struggle in order for you just to be able to eat. So your people continue to be fucking better is kind of the deal.
You're not wrong. And like that's true on like multiple levels. It's like true on the individual level, it's true on the like societal level, it's true on the family level. Like I was listening to this economist on I think Macro Voices, something like that. By the way, again, fuck you for turning me into an econ
nerd. Sorry, homie.
But anyhow, he pointed out that most innovation, like groundbreaking innovations, actually happen during recession. So, and pullbacks and down cycles, depressions, and that type of thing. Just because it's when people need to just knuckle down and make something work or they're going to die.
Well, necessity is the mother of all invention.
Not wrong. And I was actually thinking that that actually lines up pretty well with if you look at the number of like groundbreaking new discoveries and that type of thing. The number has absolutely fallen off a cliff since about the time we got off the gold standard. Like obviously it was kind of leveling off and going down, but it's really gone down since the 70s. So I think that kind of squares with that as well.
Well, I mean, like we've had massive technological advances, but then again, it's just building on fucking, similar things over and over and over again. Right.
Most of that is industrialization of known existing things. And the thing that a lot of people don't get is like how reliant our technology is on economies of scale. Like you could not do 90% of the things that we do today, if we didn't have a division of labor across maybe not the entire world, but at least across a country with the human and natural resources of the United States.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's to me, I feel bad because I feel like we're wasting an opportunity we have today with the amount of fucking industrial ability that we have, right? By standing here fucking doing this dumb shit and continuing to complain back and forth about each other, you know what I mean? Which race is doing what to who. And it's just, it bothers the fuck out of me. It really does. Because there's so much opportunity for individuals to fucking grow if we get out of this fucking victim bullshit. But I don't know, maybe like our time is fucking just ran through. Maybe we're at the end of the fucking rope.
Well, that's part of it, I think. Another part of it is that, like, we've been running off a debt expansion for the last
30 years.
Yeah. Arguably since Bretton Woods, but yeah. So, like, the thing is that I don't think anyone really conceptualized when Bretton Woods was signed that it would completely hollow out the manufacturing in the United States at some point. Maybe some people were, being all Kabbalistic and nonsense and trying to do that, but I don't think anybody was thinking this far ahead. I mean, if you look at Janet Yellen, our new Treasury Secretary, she just said that she just came out and said that you're aware of like the Treasury balance account. I forget it, TGA. Treasury General Account. She came out and said, we've got 1.9 trillion in the TGA account right now because long story, but she just said that she's going to dump 800 billion. Sorry, let me make sure I'm getting the numbers right here. 800 billion into I don't know what, some sort of fiscal stimulus, my understanding again, which is just government spending over the next 2 months.
Well, I'll be honest, that's normal.
No, like it is not well, it's not normal for the TGA to actually have money in it that's not allocated, first of all. Second of all, this isn't bonds, this isn't that type of thing. This is liquidity, like raw liquidity. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. I hate to just like drop that type of thing and run, but I got to get back to work.
All right, man, go do your thing. I'll tell you what, I'm a fucking article up. We'll discuss it. I can fucking. Thank you, man. One drops 1.1 trillion treasury cash pile in a bit. All right. As Treasury Secretary over the helm of the U.S. government sailboat, Steve Mnuchin, there has been a questioning over the past Treasury cash pile. Secretary General, and listen, you sitting in the Treasury cash pile, Treasury General account. Now, Yellen just announced plans to reduce the stockpile of cash that Treasury has amassed over the last year. This means more liquidity at a time when markets are above last year's levels. In some cases, commodities are more than double-digit higher from their base last year. This is causing some chatter amongst Fed officials. And for now, the market is unsure of what this can potentially mean for equities, risk assets, and more important, money markets. The TGA is like a government bank account, to put it simply, and has raised 1.6 trillion last year during the pandemic and has not been used so far. It's just sitting there. This money usually raised by the government by selling T-bills, etc. during the quarterly refunding announcement. Yellen announced plans to lower the amount to 500 billion by the end of June. That is 1.1 trillion in liquidity that can make its way back into the market over the next. Let's not forget the Fed has been buying treasury assets to the tune of 120 billion per month since last year. The balance sheet ends at 7.65 trillion, hitting a new all-time high this week by the bubble stands. Previously, banks would be able to absorb this liquidity and allow their reserve accounts at the Fed to grow dramatically, but the banks do not have the leeway to do this now, as they need to manage their liabilities as well. So this 1.1 trillion in liquidity needs to find a new home. The next alternative is the money markets, but therein lies another problem. Money markets rates are already trading close to zero. This sort of influx can take short-term rates into negative territory. This is something the Fed has wanted to avoid. If these rates go to zero, then the money markets will stop taking in new money. The Fed may have no choice but to raise short-term administered rates like RRP and IOR interest on excessive reserves. This is all part of technical plumbing in the market that equity market traders are blissfully unaware of. The slightest hint of rate increase can send shockwaves down risk assets and create a higher dollar over the short term. Well, that's not really the problem, but I get what they're saying. The U.S. 10-year bond yields have been shooting higher over the past week from 1.15 all the way down to 1.33 at this time of writing. Most day traders are blindly following the tick higher by chasing the reflation trade even higher without asking why rates are going up and how far they can go. Outside of the level of the actual yield on the back end of the curve, it is the rate of change that is worrying more than the level per se. All right, so... all right, here's the thing, man. See, it's such a small fucking yield. It really is, like, legit. Like, you're talking about like a fucking 0.2%, 0.2 basis points. Like, that's fucking nothing. But again, these are fucking people who are moving billions of dollars. Aggressive, sharp moves are never a good thing for markets to digest. In theory, one can argue that the Fed is not concerned about a quickly steepening yield curve, and let the back end move in line with inflation expectations, as they're bent on letting inflation run hot. Yellen already made loud proclamations that doing too little is a much bigger risk to the U.S. economic recovery than doing too much. They are prepared to face the consequences afterwards, i.e., runaway inflation, rather than spend too little to help the recovery. Their focus lies on the tens of million people out of jobs, and their sole goal is to get the employment rate back up. Jobless claims moved up another 860,000 for last week. The U.S. job recovery is losing steam, but the real question is whether loose monetary accommodation is the solution, as all it does is put asset prices higher. More money printing is coming, but not less, for all the wrong reasons. We all know from Yellen's background, she's ultra dovish and would always like to prefer to print a few trillion rather than do nothing. It remains to be seen how Powell handles this new tsunami of liquidity that is about to enter the market. Perhaps during the next FOMC meeting on March 16th, the Fed may have some explaining to do and perhaps stop asset buying scheme to raise short-term rates. That is, unless the market totally misreads it beforehand. All right, so basically, what they're fitting on doing is they want to stand here and, try to Torsten, what up, PJ Luda? How the fuck you doing? Macintosh, everybody the fuck who's out here, right? So, all right, let's talk about this real quick, right? Here's the problem, right? In the end of the day, when you stand here and you print fucking money into oblivion, it ends up causing inflation and ultimately fucking hyperinflation. But the problem is that it's not hitting the general fucking market. So, all right, the reason why Weimar Germany ended up the way Weimar Germany did, it wasn't because of the fact that they were printing money. It's because they were printing money and it wasn't going anywhere, right? Like, the issue is that when in a closed market where your money only moves inside of your country, this is a fucking massive problem. But if your money actually moves outside of the country like ours does, the rest of the world ends up fucking taking the hit in the motherfucking in the actual currency itself. They have the problem. The American people, it's not as big of an issue because of the fact that with a cheaper dollar, it just means that we can fucking import more goods. So it's a retarded way of fucking doing things. It's a retarded way of thinking about things. And this is what this MMT shit's really about. Now, if they stood here and gave it to the people, which is what guys like fucking Jimmy Dore and morons like his fucking buddy says, right? if they give it to the people, that's when hyperinflation happens, because that's when the money's actually inside of the system itself. And that's when it starts chasing bread and eggs and meat and fucking cheese and all this shit that you buy every day. So if, you stand here and you print a fuck ton of money and just give everybody $1 million, it ends up devaluing the goddamn currency inside of your fucking actual, inside of the actual fucking whatever, right? Inside of your system, inside of the country itself. But with it going outside, it's just going to push up the prices of equities, the prices of fucking, raw materials to make things. So things like cars are going to go up in price, real estate will go up in price, fucking, assets and things of this nature, So, that's really the issue as a whole. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the problem as a fucking, as a thing. But the thing is if you put the money into the money markets and they don't need it and people aren't borrowing it, it's just going to cause bubbles all over the fucking place throughout the world. That's the problem, right? And then when those bubbles pop, people end up fucking getting hurt on the back end. Like this is what happened with Deutsche Bank, right? Like fucking Deutsche Bank. Yo, Craig Stoffel, what up, man? Yo, anybody wants to join, the link is in the motherfucking description, right? I'm cutting in and out. Am I cool now, man? Like, yo, fucking, I feel like I shouldn't be cutting in and out anymore, right? Yo, everything's fucking jumping in price, legit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that like people aren't fucking really talking about. There's a lot of shit. Like, yo, today I was at the store, right? And I was debating on like buying some new sheets for my bed. Like, yo, they was like $60 fucking for a set of sheets. And I was like, yo, I can't afford that. Like, real shit. Like, I was hoping I can get like, $10, $20 pair of fucking set of sheets for my bed, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, if I can get a fresh pair, you know what I mean? Because like I got to wash mine. I was like, if I can wash them, you know what I mean? Get a new pair, I'll be good to go, whatever. Right. But like, that's not how the fuck it ended up working, because I was like, dude, I'm not paying $60. Like, yo, the prices of everything's up right now. You know what I mean? We're not seeing massive inflation in a lot of shit, but we're seeing inflation in, some shit as far as things are really concerned. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So anyway, but yeah, this is what's going on. As far as the money market is really concerned, like, yo, the money market, because, all right, anyway, let me explain what happened with Deutsche Bahn, right? So Deutsche Bahn, they were betting on dollars, and they they stood here as a bank and they, bet against another bank in the clearinghouse as to whether the value of dollar would go up or down overnight. Now, in order to make any money on this play, you have to stand here and buy or borrow. Basically, they did it on a short sell, right? And they fucking sat there and tried to short the dollar out overnight over and over and over again. But the problem is that they couldn't sit here and fucking, like they kept taking a fucking loss every night, but they didn't have the money to really clear it out. And they ended up trillions of dollars in the fucking hole from fucking gambling, right? Fucking like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was kind of like a trap system, right? That's what I'm saying. Like that, like, it'd be different if, like Germany had like the world reserve currency, you know what I mean? Or Germany had like a gold backed currency. That wasn't the deal. They didn't really have that. What they had is they had a currency, which was straight paper. And they tried to sell it. They tried to like use it to pay their debts to fucking France and Britain, for the Versailles Treaty. And all that money came back to Germany, and it ended up causing, hyperinflation to the point where like it just ran up crazy overnight. And that kind of fucking happens from time to time. But yeah, like, that's kind of where it's really at and shit, and that's kind of where things are. As a whole. So, just so everybody understands like why the fuck it is, like, it doesn't affect us. The way it affects other people is because the rest of the world uses our currency all the goddamn time. And we're the world reserve currency, and we're the only country who's capable of providing a world reserve currency, short of something like Bitcoin or Ethereum, which they could use. Like somebody could make that. Somebody could make that almost immediately. You know what I mean? And fucking like, just affect everything all over the world as a whole. That's kind of where shit is. So, but like, yeah, fucking that's kind of where that's at. In general. Oh, by the way, I wanted to talk about Texas, right? Like, how Texas ended up having that cold snap, and now people are like owing like thousands of dollars a day on fucking energy bills. Like, it's fucking hilarious to me. For all y'all people who like, man, Texas is the best country in the United States, whatever, right? Like, look, all right. Texas's fucking energy grid is garbage. Like, yo, this is not the first time this has happened. This has happened a few times in recent memory, right? But like, yo, Texas legit, every time like something fucking crazy out of the blue happens, like they get hit with a hurricane or, some crazy storm or fucking, now they had that ice problem down there. They end up having their fucking energy grid just fucking completely collapse and millions of people go without goddamn power. Like, yo, legit, they need, and this is a problem of the whole system, right? There's a Visa card that uses crypto. Yeah, I heard about that. Fucking like, yo, but nobody takes Visa no more. So we got to figure something else the fuck out. Anyway, right? So you can use American Express more than you use Visa. They need a MasterCard that uses crypto. That should be bomb. Anyway, right? So, fuck, I would use that motherfucker. Real shit. Anyway, so yeah, where the fuck was my mentality? And I was thinking about some shit. I was saying something. I forget. Oh yeah, fucking Texas. Yeah. So Texas ended up having their windmills freeze. Their nuclear power plants got shut down because they had ice in the fucking inlets, right? Like the water froze that was going in to cool the fucking power and shit, right? Yeah. This just-in-time manufacturing bullshit. Like everybody does everything just enough, right? And it's all built on super efficiency to keep the price down, right? Because it's all trying to hide the fact that, everybody's trying to live in this hyperinflated fucking world that we live in, where the dollar is really worth dick. Right. And so they're trying to maximize profits as much as possible because you can't stand here and really fucking, think about what's going to happen tomorrow as a whole. Right. And this is an issue because you don't have long-term investing when you end up having a currency that's as devalued as ours is as a whole. Right. It's kind of like, all right, so why would you invest and want to have dollars or have things, that are priced in dollars if the dollar is just going to continue to fucking devalue and devalue and shit, right? But ultimately, the devaluation isn't enough to actually affect the bottom line in the positive way, right? Because, like, let's be real here. If the U.S. economy and it's not equities, shit, man. Fucking not assets. Goddamn commodities. If commodities kept price with fucking inflation the way they should, right, as a whole, because what happens is you end up having inflation, and then the commodities market ends up taking a hit because of the fact that people don't have the ability to buy the goods, right? So inflation doesn't work in the way it's supposed to work. It's a broken fucking system. Like if human beings aren't able to buy as many soda cans or fucking able to buy as many cars or whatever the case is, right, you're not going to be able to have the commodities prices rise the way they need to rise in order to fucking stand here and actually have an investment that's fucking based on something fucking tangible. Because at this point, let's be honest here, like a pound of aluminum should be worth, like fucking $40. Like, yo, aluminum should be more valuable than what silver is at the moment, but it's not. And that's a fucking problem, right? Because that's how it should work, because that keeps the government the fucking check. But the problem is that, yo, it's a globalized system, right? And in the globalized system where we're not the ones producing the fucking aluminum, where we're getting our aluminum from China or getting our aluminum from like fucking Australia or whatever the case is, like you end up, not paying the proper price because you're paying for a lower fucking value fucking good that's already tied to your fucking dollar, right? It's already tied to your fucking currency. So like it doesn't work out the way it's supposed to. Or like, yo, their currency is pegged to the fucking treasury bills and shit. And that's something that, we don't really talk about enough as a whole. In this whole system, it's not, it's set up that, it's set up that the government does really well, but the American people don't. Like, because like, yo, your investments may grow. You might be able to retire off your investments, which is a good trade-off. But on the same point, if you don't make it past 65, what type of trade-off did you really just have? You didn't really get to fucking do that shit. I'm sorry, man. Fucking like, yo, again, I've been running my dick off for like the past like 2 weeks. That's why I ain't been doing this a whole lot. Just being real. But anyway, yo, look, man, I'm hitting 45 minutes. I'm out of shit to talk about and I'm fucking bored. So I'm gonna motherfucking stand here and get the hell off of here. I'm gonna go take a fucking nap, get my laundry out. Continue on about my day. In the meantime, you know the deal. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna holla at y'all motherfuckers later. Peace be like one. Peace.